What if I told you that while you're listening to this podcast, someone else is already becoming the person you've always wanted to be? They're not smarter than you, they're not luckier than you, they don't have more time than you. The only difference is they decided to start. Right now, someone is waking up early, someone is studying instead of scrolling, someone is exercising instead of making excuses. Someone is building a life they'll be proud of one day. And here's the question. Will that person be you? If you've ever said, "I'll start tomorrow, just 5 more minutes, I'm waiting for the perfect time," then today's podcast is exactly what you need. Because discipline isn't something people are born with, it's something they build, one small choice at a time. So put your phone down for a few minutes, take a deep breath, and let's train not only your English, but also your mindset. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Learn English with Ramya, the podcast where you improve your English naturally through real-life conversations and inspiring stories. I'm so happy you're here today. If you're learning English while cooking, walking, traveling, relaxing, or simply enjoying a quiet moment, you've chosen a wonderful way to practice. So relax, listen carefully, repeat new expressions if you'd like, and let's enjoy learning English together. Let's begin. Today, I want to ask you a simple question. What does discipline mean to you? Take a moment to think about it. Many people imagine a very strict person, someone who wakes up at 5 in the morning every day, someone who never watches TV, someone who never eats chocolate, someone who studies for 10 hours without stopping. Honestly, that sounds a little scary, doesn't it? But discipline isn't about becoming a robot. It isn't about removing happiness from your life. It's about learning how to keep the promises you make to yourself. Imagine this. It's Monday morning. Your alarm rings. You open your eyes. The room feels warm and comfortable. Your bed is soft. Outside, it's quiet. Your mind immediately starts talking. Just 5 more minutes. You slept late yesterday. You deserve more rest. Does this sound familiar? I think almost everyone has experienced this moment. Now imagine 2 different people. The first person turns off the alarm. They sleep for another hour. When they wake up, they feel guilty. Now they're late. Everything feels rushed. Breakfast is skipped. The whole day feels messy. The second person also wants to stay in bed. They feel exactly the same. They're tired, they're sleepy, they don't feel motivated. But they sit up anyway, not because they feel excited, but because they made a promise to themselves. That tiny decision changes the entire day. Here's something interesting. Successful people don't always feel motivated. Sometimes they're tired, sometimes they're stressed, sometimes they don't feel like working at all. The difference is, they don't wait for motivation, they rely on discipline. Motivation is like the weather. Some days it's sunny, some days it's rainy, some days it's completely gone. But discipline is like carrying an umbrella. Even when the weather changes, you're still prepared. I love this idea because it removes pressure. You don't have to wake up every morning feeling inspired. You only need to keep one promise, just one. Maybe today's promise is reading 5 pages. Maybe it's studying English for 15 minutes. Maybe it's drinking enough water. Maybe it's going for a short walk. Small promises create strong habits, and strong habits create a strong life. Let me tell you about a student. She wanted to improve her English. Every Monday she felt excited. She downloaded new apps. She bought beautiful notebooks. She watched motivational videos. She created colorful study plans. Everything looked perfect. But after 3 days, she stopped. The notebook stayed on the table. The apps stayed unopened. The excitement disappeared. A week later, she started again. Then she stopped again. This happened for months, maybe even years. Then one day, she changed only one thing. She stopped asking, "How long should I study?" Instead, she asked, "Can I study for just 10 minutes? Only 10. No pressure, no impossible goals. Just 10 honest minutes." Do you know what happened? Those 10 minutes became 20, then 30, then an hour. Not every day, but most days, because starting became easier. Sometimes the hardest part isn't doing the work, it's simply beginning. That's why discipline often starts with the smallest action. Open the book.
Let me ask you another question. Have you ever made a promise to yourself and then quietly broken it? Maybe you said, "I'll wake up early tomorrow." But when morning came, you pressed the snooze button. Or maybe you promised, "I'll practice English every day." Yet after a busy day, you thought, "I'll do it tomorrow." Tomorrow. Such a simple word. But sometimes tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And before we realize it, another year has passed. The truth is, time doesn't stop for anyone. Every single day, we all receive the same 24 hours. No one gets 25. No one gets extra time. The difference is not in the amount of time. The difference is in how we use it. Think about your phone for a moment. How many times do you unlock it every day? Once? 10 times? 50 times? Maybe even more. Sometimes we open our phones without even thinking. We check one notification, then another, then another. 5 minutes suddenly become 30. 30 minutes become an hour. Has that ever happened to you? It has happened to me too. Our attention is valuable. Every app wants it. Every video wants it. Every notification says, "Look at me." But discipline quietly whispers, "Focus on what truly matters." Learning to ignore distractions is like exercising a muscle. At first, it feels difficult. Your mind wants to check messages. It wants to scroll. It wants something exciting. But every time you choose your goal instead, that mental muscle becomes stronger. Imagine you're planting a tree. On the first day, nothing seems different. The second day, nothing. The third day, still nothing. Would you stop watering it? Of course not, because you know that something is happening beneath the ground. The roots are growing, even if you can't see them. Discipline is exactly like that. Your progress is often invisible before it becomes visible. Every day you practice English, you're growing roots. Every day you read, you're growing roots. Every day you choose healthy habits, you're growing roots. One morning, you'll suddenly notice, wow, I've improved so much. But that improvement didn't happen overnight. It happened quietly, one disciplined day at a time. Many people believe they need confidence before they take action, but I think it's the opposite. Action creates confidence. Imagine someone who has never spoken English before. On the first day, they're nervous. Their voice shakes. They make mistakes. They forget words. They feel embarrassed. But they keep speaking. The next day becomes a little easier. Then another day. Then another. Months later, people say, "You're so confident." They don't realize confidence wasn't there at the beginning. It was built through discipline. The same thing happens in every area of life. Nobody is born disciplined. Nobody wakes up one morning with perfect habits. We all start as beginners. We all struggle. We all make excuses. The important thing is choosing not to stay there forever. There's a saying I really like. Your future is created by what you do today, not someday. Read that sentence again in your mind. Not someday. Today. Because today is the only day you can actually control. Yesterday is already gone. Tomorrow hasn't arrived yet. But today is full of possibilities. Maybe today you read one chapter. Maybe today you practice English for 20 minutes. Maybe today you drink more water. Maybe today you choose sleep instead of endless scrolling. Those small decisions may seem ordinary, but ordinary actions repeated every day create extraordinary lives. Have you ever watched professional athletes train? People usually admire them on competition day. They see the medals, the trophies, the applause. But they don't see the early mornings, the sore muscles, the rainy days when training felt impossible, the thousands of hours nobody was watching. Discipline is often invisible. Success is visible. People celebrate the success. But success is simply the result of invisible discipline. Imagine two friends. Both have the same dream. Both are intelligent. Both have talent. Both want to become fluent in English. The first friend studies only when they feel excited. Some weeks they study every day. Other weeks they don't study at all. The second friend studies just 20 minutes every day. Some days they feel motivated. Some days they don't. But they still show up. After 1 year, who do you think has improved more? The answer is obvious. Not because one person is smarter, but because one person trusted consistency instead of emotion. Here's something I hope you'll always remember. You don't have to win every day.
You simply have to refuse to quit. Some days will be amazing. Some days will feel difficult. Some days you'll have lots of energy. Other days you'll feel tired. That's normal. Being disciplined doesn't mean being perfect. It means coming back, again and again and again. If you miss one day, don't miss two. If you make one mistake, don't turn it into 10. Forgive yourself quickly. Learn from it. Then continue moving forward. That's how real progress happens. Not through perfection, but through persistence. I want you to imagine yourself 1 year from now. Close your eyes for a second if you can. Picture yourself speaking English naturally, reading books with confidence, watching movies and understanding more, feeling proud of yourself. Now ask yourself one simple question. What kind of person do I need to become to reach that future? The answer isn't someone who waits. The answer is someone who acts, someone who keeps showing up, someone who chooses discipline, even when nobody is watching. And the beautiful thing is, that person can be you, starting today, starting with one small decision, starting with one simple habit. Because every great journey begins the same way, with one step, and then another, and another.
I want to tell you a small story. Imagine there are two people standing at the bottom of a mountain. Both of them have the same dream. They both want to reach the top. The first person looks at the mountain and says, "It's too high. I'm not ready. Maybe I'll start next month." Then they sit down and keep thinking. The second person also looks at the mountain. They feel nervous. They don't know exactly how long the journey will take. But instead of thinking too much, they take one small step. Just one. It doesn't seem like much, but after 1 hour, they are farther ahead. After 1 day, they have made real progress. After 1 month, they are halfway up the mountain. The mountain didn't become smaller. The person simply kept moving. That is the power of discipline. It doesn't remove challenges. It helps you move through them. Sometimes we wait because we think we need to feel ready, but the truth is, no one ever feels completely ready. The first day at a new job feels uncomfortable. The first English conversation feels scary. The first workout feels difficult. The first speech feels impossible. Everything is hard before it becomes familiar. Think about when you first learned to ride a bicycle. Did you succeed on the first try? Probably not. Maybe you lost your balance. Maybe you were afraid of falling. Maybe you actually fell. But did you stop forever? No. You stood up. You tried again. Little by little, your body learned. Today, if you know how to ride a bicycle, you don't even think about balancing. It happens naturally. Why? Because repetition turned effort into habit. Discipline works in exactly the same way. Many people search for shortcuts. They ask, how can I become fluent in English in 30 days? How can I lose weight in 1 week? How can I become successful overnight? These questions are understandable. Everyone wants quick results. But life doesn't usually work that way. Real growth takes time. And that's okay, because the things that take time often last the longest. Have you ever noticed how bamboo grows? For a long time, it seems like nothing is happening. People water it, take care of it, wait patiently. There is very little visible growth. Then suddenly, it begins to grow incredibly fast. What changed? The answer is simple. The roots became strong enough. Before growing taller, it grew deeper. Your life is like that bamboo tree. Every time you practice English, every time you wake up on time, every time you finish something you started, you're building roots. People may not notice, even you may not notice, but one day, your growth will surprise everyone, including yourself. Let's talk about excuses. We all make them. I don't have enough time. I'm too tired. I'll start on Monday. I need better conditions. I don't feel motivated. I've heard these excuses many times. Maybe you've even said some of them. But here's an interesting question. What if your excuses disappeared today? Would you finally begin? Or would your mind create new excuses tomorrow? Sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't our situation, it's our thinking. Discipline teaches us something powerful. It teaches us to act even when our emotions disagree. Imagine you're reading a book. After 10 pages, your mind says, "This is boring." Your disciplined mind answers, "Just 1 more page." You're exercising. Your body says, "Let's stop." Your disciplined mind says, 5 more minutes. You're practicing English. Your brain says, "I'm making too many mistakes." Your disciplined mind replies, "Mistakes mean I'm learning." Can you hear the difference? One voice creates excuses. The other creates progress. You don't have to silence the negative voice. Everyone has it.
You simply have to stop obeying it, because your thoughts don't control your future, your actions do. One of the most beautiful habits you can develop is finishing what you start. It sounds simple, but it's rare. Many people start books, few finish them. Many people begin online courses, few complete them. Many people create goals every January. By February, they've already forgotten them. Imagine becoming someone who finishes, someone who keeps their promises, someone people can trust. Most importantly, someone you can trust. That is true discipline. Every evening, ask yourself one question. Did I become a little better today than I was yesterday? Not perfect, just better. Maybe you learned 5 new English words. Maybe you drank more water. Maybe you spent less time scrolling on your phone. Maybe you finally started that task you had been avoiding. Celebrate those victories. They matter. Small wins build confidence. Confidence builds consistency. Consistency builds success. Have you ever noticed how bamboo grows? For a long time, it seems like nothing is happening. People water it, take care of it, wait patiently. There is very little visible growth. Then suddenly, it begins to grow incredibly fast. What changed? The answer is simple. The roots became strong enough. Your life is like that bamboo tree. Every time you practice English, every time you wake up on time, every time you finish something you started, you're building roots. People may not notice. Even you may not notice. But one day, your growth will surprise everyone, including yourself. Let's talk about excuses. We all make them. I don't have enough time. I'm too tired. I'll start on Monday. I need better conditions. I don't feel motivated. I've heard these excuses many times. Maybe you've even said some of them. But here's an interesting question. What if your excuses disappeared today? Would you finally begin? Or would your mind create new excuses tomorrow? Sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't our situation. It's our thinking. Discipline teaches us something powerful. It teaches us to act even when our emotions disagree. Imagine you're reading a book. After 10 pages, your mind says, "This is boring." Your disciplined mind answers, "Just one more page." You're exercising. Your body says, "Let's stop." Your disciplined mind says, "5 more minutes." You're practicing English. Your brain says, "I'm making too many mistakes." Your disciplined mind replies, "Mistakes mean I'm learning." Can you hear the difference? One voice creates excuses. The other creates progress. You don't have to silence the negative voice. Everyone has it. You simply have to stop obeying it, because your thoughts don't control your future. Your actions do. One of the most beautiful habits you can develop is finishing what you start. It sounds simple, but it's rare. Many people start books, few finish them. Many people begin online courses, few complete them. Many people create goals every January. By February, they've already forgotten them. Imagine becoming someone who finishes, someone who keeps their promises, someone people can trust. Most importantly, someone you can trust. That is true discipline. Every evening, ask yourself one question. Did I become a little better today than I was yesterday? Not perfect, just better. Maybe you learned 5 new English words. Maybe you drank more water. Maybe you spent less time scrolling on your phone. Maybe you finally started that task you had been avoiding. Celebrate those victories. They matter. Small wins build confidence. Confidence builds consistency. Consistency builds success. Here's something that changed my perspective. Imagine 2 jars. Every disciplined action you take, you place 1 marble into the first jar. Every excuse you make, you place 1 marble into the second jar. At the end of 1 year, which jar will be fuller? That jar represents your future. Every choice matters, even the tiny ones, especially the tiny ones, because your life is not shaped by one big decision. It is shaped by thousands of small ones. Never believe that one day doesn't matter. 1 page matters. 1 workout matters. 1 conversation in English matters. 1 healthy meal matters. 1 early morning matters. 1 honest effort matters. Those 1 days eventually become 1 incredible life. So today, choose discipline over comfort. Choose progress over perfection. Choose action over excuses. And remember, every time you do something difficult, you're becoming stronger than the person you were yesterday. That quiet strength is something no one can ever take away from you.
There is something I want you to remember for the rest of your life. Discipline is actually a form of self-respect. Think about that for a moment. When you keep a promise to a friend, they begin to trust you. When you keep a promise to your family, they know they can depend on you. But what happens when you keep a promise to yourself? You begin to trust yourself, and that kind of trust is incredibly powerful. Imagine looking in the mirror every morning and knowing, I am someone who finishes what I start. I am someone who doesn't give up easily. I am someone who keeps moving forward. That confidence doesn't come from compliments. It comes from your daily actions.
Many people are waiting for life to become easier. They think, when I have more money, I'll be disciplined. When I have more time, I'll start. When everything is perfect, I'll finally change. But life rarely becomes perfect. There will always be busy days, unexpected problems, moments of stress, moments of doubt. If you wait for perfect conditions, you may spend your whole life waiting. Instead, learn to begin with what you have. 5 minutes are enough to start. 1 notebook is enough to start. 1 lesson is enough to start. 1 decision is enough to start. You don't need the perfect plan. You need the first step. Have you ever noticed how a river flows? A river doesn't become powerful overnight. It keeps flowing every single day, slowly, patiently, without giving up. Over time, that gentle water can shape mountains and carve deep valleys, not because it is stronger than the rocks, but because it never stops moving. Your discipline is like that river. You don't have to make giant changes in one day. Just keep flowing, keep learning, keep improving, keep showing up, even when your progress feels slow, because slow progress is still progress. Let's talk about failure. Most people fear it. They think failure means they are not good enough, but failure is actually a teacher. Every mistake tells you something valuable. If you pronounce an English word incorrectly, now you know the correct pronunciation. If you forget a grammar rule, now you know what to review. If you miss one workout, now you know how important consistency is. Mistakes are not proof that you're weak. They are proof that you're trying. The only real failure is giving up completely. As long as you keep learning, as long as you keep trying, you're still moving forward. I once heard a beautiful idea. Imagine your future self writing you a letter. What would that person say? Maybe something like this. Thank you for not quitting. Thank you for studying English even when it felt difficult. Thank you for choosing healthy habits. Thank you for believing in us. Can you imagine reading that letter? How proud would you feel? The choices you make today are creating that future version of yourself. Every morning gives you a fresh beginning. Yesterday's mistakes don't have to control today. Maybe yesterday wasn't productive. Maybe you wasted time. Maybe you felt lazy. That's okay. Today is a new opportunity. You don't need to carry yesterday's guilt forever. Learn from it, then let it go. Start again. One of the greatest habits you can build is protecting your mornings. The first hour of your day often decides the rest of your day. Imagine waking up, drinking a glass of water, stretching your body, reading a few pages of a book, practicing English for 15 minutes, before checking social media, before answering messages, before the world begins demanding your attention. Doesn't that sound peaceful? Those small morning habits create a completely different mindset. Instead of reacting to life, you begin leading it. Another important lesson is learning to be patient with yourself. Growth isn't always visible. Sometimes you'll feel like you're not improving. Sometimes you'll compare yourself with other people. Please don't. Everyone has a different journey. Some people start earlier. Some people learn faster. Some people face challenges you cannot see. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. If you've improved even a little, celebrate it, because little improvements become big transformations. Remember this simple formula. Small actions repeated every day for a long time create extraordinary results. It sounds almost too simple, but the simplest ideas are often the most powerful. Read 1 page, learn 1 new word, walk 1 extra minute, save 1 small amount of money, smile 1 more time, help 1 person. These tiny actions may seem ordinary today, but together they create an extraordinary life. One day someone will ask you, how did you become so disciplined? You won't have one magical answer. You'll simply smile and say, I stopped waiting for motivation and I started showing up every single day. And that is where real change begins.
As we come to the end of today's podcast, I want you to do something with me. Don't worry, it will only take a moment. Close your eyes if you can. Take a slow, deep breath in and gently breathe out. Now imagine yourself exactly 1 year from today. Picture yourself waking up in the morning. You feel lighter, more confident, more peaceful. You no longer waste hours wondering where your time went. Instead, you know what you need to do. You trust yourself. You respect yourself. And most importantly, you are proud of yourself. Now ask yourself one simple question.
What helped me become this person? Was it luck? No. Was it talent? Not really. Was it waiting for motivation? Definitely not. It was the small decisions you made every single day. The mornings when you chose to get out of bed. The evenings when you practiced English instead of giving up. The moments when you wanted to quit, but decided to continue. Those moments changed your life. People often think success happens in one big moment. A graduation, a promotion, a business becoming successful, speaking English fluently. But success is usually very quiet. It happens when no one is watching, when you're studying alone, when you're reading one more page, when you're repeating one more English sentence, when you're choosing your future instead of your comfort. Those quiet moments become your loudest achievements. There will still be difficult days. Let's be honest. Some mornings you'll feel tired. Some evenings you'll feel disappointed. Some weeks won't go according to your plan. Life isn't perfect, and neither are we. But discipline doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to come back. Again, and again, and again. That's enough. If today wasn't productive, start again tomorrow. If this week wasn't your best, start again next week. If you failed many times before, start again today. There is no limit to new beginnings. Every sunrise gives you another chance. Every new day whispers, you can try again. And sometimes, trying again is the bravest thing you can do. Imagine reading your favorite book. If one page isn't exciting, do you throw the whole book away? Of course not. You keep reading. Life is exactly the same. One bad day isn't a bad life. One mistake doesn't define your future. One failure doesn't erase your dreams. Turn the page. Keep moving. Your story isn't finished yet. Before we say goodbye, I want to leave you with a small challenge. Not a difficult one, just one simple promise. For the next 7 days, choose one habit. Only one. Maybe you'll practice English for 15 minutes every day. Maybe you'll wake up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe you'll read 10 pages of a book. Maybe you'll exercise for 20 minutes. Choose something realistic. Then protect that habit. Don't wait until you feel motivated. Simply do it. At the same time, every day. After 7 days, look back. I believe you'll notice something beautiful. Not only will your habit become stronger, you will become stronger. Always remember this. Discipline is not about being better than someone else. It's about becoming better than the person you were yesterday. Your competition isn't the people on social media. It isn't your classmates. It isn't your coworkers. Your only competition is yesterday's version of yourself. And every small step forward is a victory worth celebrating. If no one has told you this recently, I'm proud of you for learning. I'm proud of you for improving your English. I'm proud of you for investing your time and becoming a better version of yourself. Learning a language isn't easy. Building discipline isn't easy. Changing your habits isn't easy. But you're here. You're listening. You're trying. And that already says something wonderful about you. Never stop believing that small actions can create big changes. Never stop believing that consistency is more powerful than perfection. Never stop believing that your dreams are worth working for. One day, you'll look back at this version of yourself. The one who was learning, the one who was struggling, the one who kept going despite the challenges. And you'll smile, because you'll realize this was the moment everything started to change. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I truly hope this podcast inspired you to become a little more disciplined, a little more confident, and a little kinder to yourself. Remember, your future isn't built in one extraordinary day. It's built through ordinary days, filled with extraordinary consistency. One choice, one habit, one promise, one day at a time. If you enjoyed today's English podcast and found it helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Learn English with Ramya. Share this podcast with a friend or family member who wants to improve their English and build better habits. And if this episode motivated you, leave a comment and tell me, what is the one habit you are going to practice starting today? I'd love to read your answers. Take care of yourself. Keep learning, keep growing, keep believing in your dreams. And remember, the disciplined life you've been dreaming about, doesn't begin next Monday. It doesn't begin next month. It begins with the next decision you make. Bye for now, and have a beautiful, productive, and peaceful day.